Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yo, Base Guru, what's up, dude? Glad to see you this morning. You know what? This remix is not my favorite version. But this one's good. Goomba, please. Why did I read it that way? Oh my. Yeah. It's very pointy. Why is it so pointy? My head doesn't come to a point, does it? Am I a pinhead? Or am I just a cone head? That's how I typed it. My wife said, hey, you should wear that hat this morning. And so, here we are. I won't leave it on. It's very warm. I've had it on a little longer than I would like to admit. I've had it on a little... Ah! Me twice! Go away, me! I really could just, like, vibe to the music instead of stream this morning, and I'd be okay. I'm not super tired, but I am tired. Hit the gym this morning, and then I had to run to the store, so I'm late. Dang, Zeke coming out the gate. Good morning. Pokemon is not Nintendo. Game Freak is not Nintendo. Pokemon Legends ZA could have been on a key card. It's a third-party game. I have opinions. Alright, and they are all over the place, but yeah. I totally understand your perspective, Zeke. But Nintendo owns a significant stake. Howie, thanks for the likes. Thanks for being here. Nintendo owns a significant stake. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Okay, I think we're good. Good morning, love the hat, love the shirt, have coffee, let's go. I'm about to change the hat, it's very warm. I was thinking, like, when I put it on, I was like, these little diddly boops are very, very diddly boopy. But the hat is just, it's so much warmer than it was yesterday. Let's, Let's grab... No, that one's way too bright on camera. We'll just run with the old blue. But I did wear it for my wife, so... She said, wear this hat that we found. It was in a box of stuff. So here we are. Anybody familiar with the channel, we have the hat chooser, and the Pikachu hat is in there. On the regular. Very similar kind of hat. Alright, good to see everybody this morning. I think I've got all the chats ready. Everybody's connected. We should, in theory, be good to go. I'm going to give the chat a quick test. Test. Is this going to show up on multiple places? Interesting. Sweet. Oh, I gotta grab one other video. We're not gonna watch it, but I do want to put the link in the description. Best explanation for game key cards and why Nintendo's using them I've ever heard. And it's a little biased, but it's a great explainer on situations. On the situation. Let's see. Copy. Nope. Nope. Be quiet. Stop trying to play. I just wanted the thumbnail. Alright, there we go. Okay. King Ryan, thanks for the likes. Good to see you guys this morning. Thanks for being here as we get started. All right, let's talk game news. It's definitely time. It's time. We're just gonna jump right into it. Lots of things happened yesterday. So welcome in, everybody. This is just far too loud. This music is not gonna do it. I should have just started with the synthwave playlist. That's the game news music, as far as I'm concerned. Anybody that disagrees, well, I'm sorry. Anyway, welcome back to the game news. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Yesterday, Nintendo dropped an explainer, presumably to get some kind of sympathy or understanding on how and why they're using game key cards. The digital physical games that they're releasing. But in doing so, has confirmed that a AAA or first-party release from Nintendo is going to be on a game key card, causing quite the stir in the community. We also had a state of play yesterday focused on Japanese studios and got a few good announcements from there. We'll go over everything there. A couple new trailers dropped yesterday and this morning. So it's gonna be a good show today. Quite a bit to talk about. I also want to touch on some stuff with Arc Raiders and AI. So we'll jump into all that. But first, let's start with game key cards. We have a nice little write-up from Nintendo Life. First thing this morning, Pokemon Pokopia is seemingly Nintendo's first game key card release. This would mark their first physical first-party release since the Switch 2 came out using game key cards. And that's because we have this video that Nintendo dropped on YouTube very recently, yesterday, in fact, explaining like just how game key cards work, why they're using them. You know, not really why they're using them, but I just feel like it's right before the holidays. Families are going to be getting these things. They need to understand that you got to have storage space and the internet if you buy a game key card. It's definitely a divisive thing, but kind of understandable when you think about corporate costs and just how things work at the scale Nintendo operates at. Game key cards are the best solution in the current economy, right? In a lot of ways. Now, I'm not saying it's a good solution. I'm not saying I like game key cards because I'm kind of indifferent. But as someone who buys a lot of physical Nintendo games, key cards are kind of a bummer because if the game is pulled from the server for some reason or the servers are shut down, you don't have access to your game anymore. And that's like the biggest complaint, right? I'm buying a physical game, but it's not actually physical. This is where I stand on that. Like it's hard as a collector to see game key cards come out, right? And I understand that side of it. I'm not as big of a collector as I used to be, but I do tend to buy my Nintendo games physical. Just because I don't really have more of a reason than the Wii U eShop situation really aggravated me. And so that may be part of it. Just buy all the games physical. Don't really trust Nintendo's digital storefront, but they've been better. I mean, between Switch 1 and 2. But yeah, the write-up here, Nintendo released a new trailer to provide an overview on how Switch 2 cartridges and game key cards work, just in case the last 6 or 7 months worth of discourse hasn't already clued you in. In it, one of the examples showcased to demonstrate the game key card is none other than Pokemon Pokopia, which has just been confirmed to launch on March 5th, 2026. The title is being published by the Pokemon Company in Japan and Nintendo in the West, which makes this the company's first game key card release. Of course, the renders shown in the trailer clearly have a sample watermark included, so there's a chance, however small, that the game may have just been plucked from thin air to demonstrate Nintendo's practices, but we think not. It's far more likely that the sample refers to the placeholder key art for the box and cart, though. We've reached out to Nintendo to make 100% sure, but it seems clear that Pokopia is a full-blown game key card release. The game will come in an estimated 10 gigs according to its page on Nintendo's website. So that's what we got. This video ruffled a lot of feathers. That new Pokemon games were $70. Chaotix, what's up, dude? I don't know, man. If this is a $70 game, that would surprise me. It is $70. I don't know. Long-term support, maybe? Online service kind of thing. updates like Minecraft, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, you know? But game itself aside, seeing a first party game being on a key card, kind of weird, you know? I don't know the full extent of it, but we do have a video. I'm not going to watch this video. It's 6 minutes. Go watch it. I will link it in the description. From Signal and Noise. You may know him from the Gaming Roundtable podcast. He's been on there some with us. But he put out a very good video, very thoughtful and explainer video on why Nintendo's doing the game key cards. And it's not what you think. It's not like sympathy for the big company. You know, it's not defending Nintendo's stance. It's explaining Nintendo's stance and why they are using game key cards. It's an awesome video. I watched it this morning, and it really changed my mind on the whole key card situation, but it's still like not my favorite thing. But this is what PC gaming went through a long time ago, right? We had PC games on shelves that were just discs with product keys on them, and that was it. And once the game was installed and the product key was redeemed, it was tied to your account, you didn't need the disc anymore. This is essentially that. We've been seeing this with some Xbox and PlayStation releases as well. The full game isn't even on the Blu-ray. You have to download the rest of it, or download all of it sometimes. So it could be, you know, it could be a problem for some people. I understand the collector side of it. I really do. But this video, you guys should go watch it. The painful truth behind Nintendo's game key cards. Obviously, after this stream, of course. If you're watching the VOD, just pause this and go watch that and then come back. But don't forget me. I'm just kidding. Anyway, all right. Let's move on. Nintendo got a software update this week. Here's some patch notes. I kind of like this update. It added a few things here and there. Nintendo's released a new Switch 2 and Switch system update, bumping the firmware up to version 21.0.0. So usual stability improvements, but here's a full rundown. Added symbols above software icons displayed on the home menu to indicate whether the software is a physical or digital version. This is like the most obvious change. You'll see it's a Switch 1 or a Switch 2 cartridge, so it's red or gray. It's got a label on it, and if it's like digital, it'll look like the little blue chip that it's been looking like. Won't really be any different. Good to see everybody in chat this morning. Thanks for being here. Sarul, Destin, good to see you guys. So when multiple software downloads are in progress, there's now an option to cancel all. Thank God. Like, there have been times where I'm like, you know, I really don't want to download all of this right now. If a console bundle includes a software download, there will now be an icon to receive software. It will display if the system's connected to the internet. Icon will launch Nintendo eShop and you can proceed to the downloadable software. This is great because used to you had to like go to the eShop and go to like another menu, whereas this takes you right to it. That's perfect. You can still receive the software by navigating to the eShop from the home menu directly. Yeah, but this little icon's great. A shortcut for the holiday season, that's for sure. When finding users to send a friend request to, search for users you played with. Option under Add Friend now includes people you've interacted with in your friends' game chat rooms. I haven't used game chat much at all, but that's kind of a cool idea. Added the ability to download data for a virtual game card, even if the use online license setting is turned off. That's cool. At least you could have it loaded, so if you get the virtual game card, maybe it's being used by somebody, you can at least be ready to borrow it. Nintendo's in full holiday mode. They absolutely are. The following updates have been made for game chat. Game will not automatically go to sleep while chatting. That's cool. Option to turn off chat audio panning has been added. Chat can continue if the console goes from TV mode to handheld or table mode, where this scenario changes the internet from wired connection to wireless connection. I imagine there's a brief hiccup, but it doesn't just close out the chat. I imagine before it just quit. Accessibility settings got some text-to-speech updates. Following updates been made to audio. Low latency if you're using the Switch 2 Pro controller, which is great. A lot of people said that the latency was a little odd. Display settings now refer to HDR output as the system screen's HDR output, so you're not adjusting. So you don't think you're adjusting your TV's HDR output, which is brilliant. Improve the screen display when adjusting screen size to make it easier to adjust. That's kind of neat. System settings, notifications, Platinum Point notification renamed to Switch Online notification. That's cool. And then stop charging around 90% was renamed and updated to stop charging around 80 to 90%. My Switch stays at 83%. Every time I take it off of the dock, it's at 83%. I don't know why. I don't really use it in handheld mode much at all, but I don't know. It is just always at 83%. And I know that that's to like make the battery last longer, but it will never really leave the dock for any long period of time. Yeah, it was a good update. I thought it was kind of cool. You know, it's got a lot. It's not, at least it's not just stability and system improvements, you know. It's around 86. Interesting. But yeah, it's cool. All right, let's move on. Oops, I meant to hit home. All right, everything announced from yesterday's State of Play from VGC. We'll look at this as well. I watched this live a little bit, but I was like doing other stuff and just I just wasn't gonna live react to this because a lot of what Sony shows I have very little interest in, if I'm being honest. I got a PlayStation for other games that weren't part of the State of Play, but I thought it was cool that they featured like focus on like Japanese studios and stuff. I thought it was really cool. Visual updates does mean we're getting background soon, dude. I hope we're getting backgrounds. All right, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined got a new trailer. In Konbini, one store, mini stores. New trailer for indie simulation games set in a 1990s Japanese convenience store. That's cool. Coffee Talk Tokyo. New look at the third game in Coffee Talk series of barista-themed visual novels. Broken Lore Unfollow and Broken Lore Ascend. Those are horror games. Seemed interesting. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake coming. Dynasty Wars Origins got a DLC trailer. Gran Turismo 7's getting some new DLC. Motion Wreck, indie game about recording your movements, then playing them back at different points in the stage. Interesting. Wandering Sword, originally released on Steam a couple years ago. Chinese martial arts RPG is coming to PS5 on May 28th, 2026, with all previous DLC included. Nice. No Sleep for Kaname Date. This one I remember seeing on a Nintendo Direct, so that's cool. Tokyo Extreme Racer. I didn't know they were still making these. That's cool. It's 20 years since the last console entry in the Tokyo Extreme Racer series, so now it's back. That's kind of neat. Once Upon a Katamari is getting 2 DLC packs. It looks like music packs. Pac-Man World 2 repack Sonic DLC looks awesome. I don't know that I'll ever pick up Pac-Man World 2, but that's cool. I love crossover stuff. Digimon Story Time Stranger Episode Pack 1 DLC, kind of cool. Super Robot Wars Y, neat. Monster Hunter Wilds Title Update 4. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. There's a big Sega DLC pack coming that adds a bunch of characters from Sega. And then SpongeBob DLC, which is a paid DLC later. So that's kind of cool. Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse, a little side-scrolling game, look kind of fun. Blaze Blue Entropy Effect X. It's Blaze Blue. Damon and Baby. No idea. Action game from Arc System Works. It's a twin-stick shooter. Cool. I'm not going to try to pronounce this one, but it's an action RPG from the team behind the Disgaea series, where players can turn defeated enemies into familiars with 16 different creature types to command. Neat. Fate Trigger, described as a next-generation tactical hero shooter built in Unreal Engine 5. This third-person multiplayer game set for release next year. Actually, that looks cool. I saw the trailer for that. Octopath Traveler 0 is coming out December 4th. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. This looks cool. We got Spider-Man and Ghost Rider. Closed beta for the game will take place on December 5th through 7th. And new trailer revealed that all of that. Elden Ring Night Rain is getting a DLC, The Forsaken Hollows. All right. Sony also announced a monitor, 27-inch 1440p monitor, and a charging dock included in the monitor for your DualSense or DualSense Edge controllers. And then a digital edition, Japanese-only PS5 coming in at $355. Japanese-only language system. It's cheaper than, I guess, everywhere else, but still more expensive than what the launch cost of the digital PS5 was, which we'll take a closer look at, I believe. So here's a look at the PlayStation monitor. I thought it was worth looking at. You know, a 1440p monitor. I don't know what the pricing's going to be, but it's coming. 1440p HDR, 240 hertz or 120 hertz if you're on a PlayStation. But 240 hertz default's kind of nice. It's got 2 HDMI ports, a display port, 2 USB-A ports, 1 USB-C port, and it has a built-in speaker audio output. It also has a charging dock for your DualSense, which is kind of neat if you have a PlayStation Focus setup or just need a 2K monitor. Like, that's super cool. I've been on the market for a 1440p monitor, so maybe I pick this up and then play Xbox on it just to make people mad. No, it's a monitor. It plays games and displays things. Who cares? Brent, good to see you. Well, let me catch up on chat. Need to get new Zelda game. Here's the second half of the Tears of the Kingdom story. It makes the story better. Yeah, I would like to play it. I liked Age of Calamity, so I think Age of Imprisonment will also be fun. It's doing well in reviews. All right. Marvel Rivals Season 5. Let's watch the trailer. Just a minute. Hopefully I don't get taken down here.
You sure you're making the right choice, bub? Not a doubt, Mona. I'm free to be myself. But somehow...
Oh, man. Can you guys not hear it? Is it not coming through? Hold up. Here we go. There it is.
You sure you're making the right choice, bub? Not a doubt, Mona. I'm free to be myself. But somehow, she manages to keep me grounded. She's my whole world.
You know how troubled his past is, yet you still chose him.
Of course I did. River's always been there for me, no matter what.
Let us hope that stays true. In the chaos to come.
Remy like they're at? Yeah. That's Gambit. I haven't played Marvel Rivals in quite a bit, but I want to play now that Gambit is in it. Well, coming in Season 5. It looks awesome. I am pumped. Very excited. All right. So, also Marvel Rivals news, players will receive $25 of currency in anniversary celebrations. So Rivals is rapidly approaching its first anniversary, and NetEase has revealed that all players will receive 2,500 units later this month to celebrate. PvP hero shooters has come on leaps and bounds in the past year, with regular seasonal transitions, introducing new characters, maps, and game modes, and Season 5 is making some major changes. X-Men, Rogue, and Gambit headline the additions for Season 5, but it's a gift from the developers that will catch the eye of most players. It's cool. First anniversary is coming up. Season 5 looks good. It's introducing cross-progression, and ranked placement matches are coming. So that's also really cool. I want to jump back in. I really do. I had a lot of fun with Rivals. It scratched an itch that Overwatch doesn't hit for me anymore. So, you know, I'll still play Overwatch with people, but Rivals I can solo queue and still have fun. But I haven't touched it in quite a while, so I'm hoping it's good. Once the season update drops, I believe, does it have a date? Season 5 kicks off Friday, November 14th, and will last until January 2026. Mid-season break to introduce Season 5.5 that brings Rogue to the game as the latest playable character. Gambit Wolverine team up where Gambit puts kinetic energy into his claws for more power. Dude, that'd be cool. I don't know what the team ups will be like, but that's cool. I like it. All right, let's move on. Maybe. All right, let's talk about Helldivers 2. The Xbox port helped increase PS5 and PC sales. If you know, it's more the Halo DLC, I think. But people playing on Xbox meant more people were going to jump on. It's been revealed that the release of Helldivers 2 on Xbox helped increase engagement as well as sales for the PS5 and PC versions. Arrowhead Game Studios released Helldivers 2 for Xbox in August 2025, and that decision helped revitalize the game for a new platform of players. It was also revealed earlier this year that Helldivers 2 sold more on Xbox than PlayStation in its first 6 days, and now it seems that the Xbox port has also helped bolster sales on other platforms. Helldivers 2 Xbox port helped provide a significant increase in sales. Spotted by This Week in Video Games, Sony Group CFO Lin Tao spoke about how Helldivers 2's Xbox port contributing towards PS5 and PC sales during a Q&A portion of the company's earnings call. Tao first talked about how their live service titles overall accounted for more than 40% of our first-party software revenue. Even though performance is different for each title, they observed that live service games are a recurring source of revenue similar to the previous quarter. Tao then spoke about Helldivers 2, stating that it was also released for Xbox in 25 and is doing extremely well. The group CFO added that the Xbox port has not only helped bring in new players on Xbox, but also increased engagement from existing users on PS5 and PC. This move has resulted in a significant increase in sales of the title year on year. Tao concluded, stating, "Building on this recent progress, we aim to strengthen our studio, business, and expand our IP franchises through continuous learning and improvement." So it's kind of obvious that they saw success releasing Helldivers 2 on Xbox, and it really begs the question, would they bring other games that were previously exclusive to PS5 over to Xbox because the added sales, I mean, it's free money. With how easy it is to port these games between the two systems, there's no reason for them not to. I fully think that this game opened a window into untapped revenue for Sony. And even if Xbox's sales are low, like, people are still buying this on Xbox, you know, there are still lots of Xbox players out there who they won't go to PlayStation. You know, even with Microsoft's shift to like everything being on PC and everything's an Xbox, there's still people who are going to be diehard Xbox owners and players. Tap into that market, Sony. Get that extra money, you know? Make up for the licensing costs for Spider-Man by putting Spider-Man on Xbox. They can totally do it. And at this point, nobody cares. Like, they'll either wait for the PC release, or they'll just wait to get like a secondhand PS5 and get the game used. Might as well pocket the money by selling directly to the people who would buy the hardware up front. If they bring it to Switch with mouse controls and motion controls, would be great. That would be cool. We decided to play it during an afternoon stream you would play. I need to play a little more, but I would have to renew or get like a month or so of Game Pass to be able to play it. Because it's not free to play, and I canceled my Game Pass. Not a big deal. It'd be cool if it hit play anywhere, though. But I did pick it up on Xbox for that reason, you know, just because it made more sense. I'm actually I've been kind of wanting to play again, so we'll see. We'll see what we can do. All right. But talking about Sony during their earnings call as well, Sony confirms Bungie's Marathon will launch by March 2026. Sony's once again reconfirmed that Bungie's extraction-based shooter Marathon will launch in March 26. Confirmation came during the company's quarterly earnings call, where CFO Lin Tao, from earlier article, said that Bungie's Marathon was still in active development and that the company was fully dedicated to launching the game in the current fiscal year. Sony's fiscal year ends March 26, suggesting that Marathon will likely launch sometime in February to March, if we were to guess. Marathon has had an uphill battle since it was first announced earlier this year, with the game struggling to captivate players and the studio facing a slew of plagiarism allegations, of which Bungie later admitted. The issues facing the game led to a delay of an undisclosed length. So, yeah. I don't know. I hope it comes out. I hope it does okay. I don't know. Not a lot of hope in this game. Not a lot of confidence on the gamer side, right? Like, it's kind of like with Concord. We looked at it and went, not really. You know, and that's kind of the vibe we're putting on Marathon. We've decided, just from what we've seen, okay. Anybody excited about it? I'd love to hear why. I'd love to hear what you loved about it if you got to play in the closed beta. Just from the looks of it, It just does not look that appealing to me. And so we see all of this. Just like how Borderlands 4 is indefinitely delayed on Switch 2. Yep, it's that time. That time. You know, do we keep funneling money into a project that might work, or do we redirect the money towards stuff that definitely will work? And I think Marathon, if they somehow miss this March date, I think it's just going to be canceled. And Bungie's going to be in a lot of trouble with Sony. It's not going to be good for them. It was a weird acquisition. I don't know that Sony's really pleased with Bungie's performance, but it is what it is. I mean, it's here. Like they just have to eat crow at this point, I guess. They were really hoping Bungie would help with live service games and kind of bolster that library, and that hasn't been the case for numerous reasons, of which I won't jump into here. But mostly, it's just I think a lot of people are getting burnt on live service games that end up just being repetitive grind fests and don't want to just do the exact same thing every single season. You know, bring something new, a new map, new weapons, stuff that's actually fun to do. There are diehard fans that will tell you, hey, all this is good and that's cool. Like you should absolutely play what you enjoy. But I think the majority of gamers are just kind of done with Destiny. You know, it's run its course, and Bungie will keep doing weird things like axing old DLC. So if anything you buy, hey, it might not be accessible. Like, I just can't put my money or trust into that, right? So like where Bungie's going and the things that they've justified in the past, I don't know that I could ever like monetarily like support a Bungie product like that. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way, but that's my personal thing. All right, let's move on here. Okay, let's talk about Arc Raiders, because I want to talk about, I don't want to read the review. It's doing really well. Steam reviews are doing really well. Steam numbers are really high for Arc Raiders. It's dominating the PC space, but it's also very popular in PlayStation and Xbox. But the PC space is really where people are focusing on the game. I haven't played it yet. I'm being peer pressured into it slowly but surely. I do want to pick it up. But Arc Raiders got a Eurogamer review, or Eurogamer reviewed it. Arc Raiders review a smartly designed extraction shooter marred by one inexcusable decision. Okay, is that decision gameplay? Is it graphics? We'll read the summary. This review is by Rick Lane on November 10th. Gave it 2 stars. Whoa, why would you give it 2 stars? Rich PvE combat and an unusually friendly community make Arc Raiders a more approachable extraction shooter than most, but Embark Studios' continued use of AI voice generation is a black mark against its reputation. Oh, yuck. AI voice generation? I just wanted to point out, I don't think that the studio's use of AI, especially really in any capacity, but use of AI should really affect the review score of the game as a product. I'm gonna start there. Like, I don't know if people agree with that. I don't care. That's, to me, that's like saying, hey, you know, that Marvel movie was really great, but I didn't like that they used this model camera to film it, so I think it's a bad movie. Like, AI is a tool. It is to be used. It is there to be used. AI voice generation does have some questions around it. Does it make sense to do? Are you cutting jobs from people? Like, what is the end goal here, right? Are you cutting jobs by using AI voice generation? Are you being cheap? Well, it turns out that Embark paid voice actors to do voice recording and also train AI, and that was signed into their contract. Like, they agreed to do that. So you can not like AI voice generation. I think that's a very fair stance. You can be upset by it. But to review a game this poorly because it uses AI voice generation that people were paid to train and provide input for, I don't know. That feels more like activism and not journalism. That feels more like I don't like AI, so anything with AI on it, I'm going to say is trash. I think that's definitely a stance, and you're free to take that stance. I just don't know that Arc Raiders would be a fundamentally different game if it didn't use AI voice generation versus the fact that it does, right? Like, I still think the core game is there. So it's just weird to me, right? Like, I don't know. Time for the part where people are overreacting on 4 AI voice lines that people gave their own consent for it. No, this is exactly, Zeke gets it. This is exactly what I'm going on. It's a weird review when surrounded by so many positive reviews. Failboat's been using AI voice learning tools for videos like his horrible image recognition AI called Grandma. I don't know what any of those words mean. I don't know who Failboat is. That's a comment I don't understand. Anyway, yeah, I just, this is weird, right? Because considering, in a time where people are criticizing it, we have Nexon CEO saying every game company is now using AI. Embark has provided an AI-generated content disclosure on Arc Raiders store page, but stresses that the final product reflects the creativity and expression of our own development team. Nexon's chief executive officer, Lee Jong-hon, recently gave his opinion on the proliferation of AI in game development. In an interview with GameSpark, translated by Automaton, Lee said he believes AI increases the overall average quality of games. Every company is using AI. First of all, I think it's important to assume that every company is now using AI, but if everyone's working with the same or similar technologies, the real question becomes, how do you survive? I believe it's important to choose a strategy that increases your competitiveness. However, despite his belief that AI is here to stay, Lee says the biggest difference maker in game quality is still human creativity. In Lee's opinion, when every developer is using AI to speed up development, humanity will be the most important factor in making an average game into a great one. Lee's comments should come as no surprise. Level 5 president Akihiro Hino claimed 80 to 90% of games are made using AI back in May, admitting that AI technology is encroaching on art, music, and even game design. Hino's comments mirror those of Lee, with both claiming that artificial intelligence is primarily being used to boost efficiency in game development. Both also agree that the creativity of humans is extremely important for games that are actually good. Players tend to find AI uses more egregious when it affects player-facing systems, such as AI-generated textures, voice acting, and writing. Thankfully, in the majority of cases, AI use is limited to idea generation and/or background systems. Yes, your back-end code and support should lean on AI. It shouldn't replace people by any stretch, but unfortunately, it's gonna be. Oh, sorry. I felt it coming on. Yeah, it's just weird to see like a review tank a game score because AI voice lines are being used, but the industry is shifting towards using generative AI all around, and it's a tool. It's a tool that does speed things up significantly, and if it's as long as it's used in this this case, right? And it's like the dumbest way to explain it, I think, but as long as it's used to fast track an idea and then have somebody look at that idea and go, okay, this is where we're starting from. That they didn't have to start from nothing. They could start kind of in the middle, like baking a cake, but you kind of just pour the batter into the pan and just make sure everything's there, make sure it tastes good, but you don't have to like get the flour and the eggs and, you know, all of the things together and mix them. You can just have them mixed for you, and then you put the thing in the oven and make sure it's right. That's how I think AI should be used. And I think it's the responsible use. Minecraft uses AI the most. People love it. Love that game. Every world is AI made from a code and its formula. Yeah, I mean it's a little different because Minecraft worlds are generated through algorithms, which I guess could be argued like, you know, the generative AI is all algorithms, but it's a little different when you start getting into the details. But yes, I see what you're saying. You know, nobody's building the Minecraft worlds. They're just built according to a set of rules and generated. Yes, it at that level, it's very similar. But yeah, it's odd. I think as long as developers are upfront about how they've used AI or the fact that they've used it at all, I'll be fine. But even if they don't, you know, and the game is still good, what do we have to complain about? Ah, pardon. People cherry pick. I understand what they're complaining about. Yep. Skynet will destroy us. Oh, for sure. We're gonna be cooked video gaming for you. We might as well enjoy it though. I mean, humanity's on the fast track to destroying itself. Let's at least enjoy the ride, right? All right. Oh, we were going to talk about this earlier. Sony's launching a Japan-only edition of the PS5 digital for $255. Still more expensive than the digital was at launch. Yeah. Japanese-only language. It's a PS5 digital edition being relaunched in Japan. All right, let's finish up the game news with the new Mario trailer that was shown this morning. My channel will probably disappear from the internet for playing this on stream, so sorry, but I wanted to watch it. Angie. Huh?
You wanted to see us?
Don't move, I'll be right up. Sipping the soup, cleaning the paint. Boodle-doo, boodle-doo. And also trim the bonsai bush. Here we go. Hey, Luigi. What's up, Mario? Behold, I made a masterpiece for Princess Peach. What do you think?
Love the colors.
It's trash.
How dare you look at my masterpiece and say that?
I'll burn the skin off your bones.
Wow. Sorry about that. That's the old Bowser talking. Still working through my demons, I suppose. Anyway, I need my 8 hours or else I really turn into a monster.
I like that they gave him a tiny castle. Bowser Jr.
I'm Bowser Jr., and I'm gonna be taking my father now!
Princess Rosalina, you're coming with me.
That looks great. Everything about that looked great. Alright, don't autoplay anything. Let's just hang out here. Alright, guys. Well, that does it for the game news. We are done talking about that. That's great. That movie looks great. It's gonna be good. We already knew it was gonna be good. They didn't do the whole somehow. Bowser grew big again and brought in his son as the main villain. His son came in to rescue his father. Nintendo, I really like the new update. Key cards 100%. I mean, if you think so. And they're going into Daisy Kingdom in the trailer. Are they? I don't know, man. I have to rewatch it like with more details. That was just me taking it in for the first time, and it looks fantastic. Very excited for this movie. It's gonna be a fun time next summer. All right. Well, that does it. That's all I got time for. I do have to get to work, so we'll find somebody to raid. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning, though. Daisy has the Sand Kingdom. Yes. Let's move this here so I can still read chat. Video gaming for you. You have a great day. Thanks for being here. If you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button or follow button, whatever platform you're watching on. Thanks for being here. If you're watching on Twitch, we are going to send it over to someone. I'm looking at the list right now to see who we can send it to. And I think it's going to be GCG. It's playing Arc Raiders, which we were talking about. So you can go tell him how much you like the game or like his face or whatever. GCG's a great guy. He does some great... He's a far better streamer than I am. Hey, Zeke, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it. The alert didn't go off because it's still in news mode, but here we are. All right. Send it over to GCG. All right, you guys have a great day. I love you. I will be live again Friday morning, and then I think Saturday night we're doing a collab with Will for his birthday stream. Will, thanks for being here. All right, you guys have a great day. God bless, and I'll see you soon.